Imagine living life where your biggest fear is that you're too awesome. And then and then imagine overcoming that fear by allowing yourself to just accept you're awesome. And essentially that's essentially the story arc of this episode, of episode 4. I realized after watching episode 4, wow, they are spending a lot of time not getting to the point. And that's probably the biggest problem with this first season of Masters of the Universe, is they're spending a lot of episodes just spinning their wheels, getting to where they're trying to go. And the other thing I realized about this is every character except Teela, except Ardra, and I'd say except Adam / He-Man, but he really hasn't been in it. Every character is so much better than Teela and Ardra. They are so much better. They're starting to flesh out Evelyn. They've fleshed out Man-at-Arms very well. They've even fleshed out Orko. Orko, I hate it. I absolutely... Any screen time that Orko had on the He-Man TV show back in 1983, this is a little joke there, back then, that any time Orko was on the screen, I was just out. I just didn't want anything to do with Orko. But they actually made him very interesting. They made him, his goofiness, a very sympathetic thing to the audience. And, spoiler. Okay, you've had enough time. Spoiler. Best part of the episode, Orko dies. I mean, there's got to be... It's part of the thing in storytelling. There has to be a price paid. And I kind of saw it coming because they really, made the viewer empathize with Orko, why he was so shitty at magic, and then in the end he sacrifices himself. And it's funny, He-Man died and went to heaven, and now they're doing this thing to get him back from heaven. Orko died in hell. Where does he go? And by extension of the rules, could they go get Orko? But don't do it. I don't want them to think about that. I don't want them to do that. Just, we're done with Orko. We're done with the Trollins. I never knew what their species was. But yeah, the central theme of this is they're going down there to get the sword of power, half of the sword of power. Scareglow, who was kind of a cool character back in the day, and he's really cool in this, although it's funny to see a character whose head is a skull have, facial animations, facial gestures. He raises an eyebrow. As if your head is a skull, you really can't raise that. You need muscles to do that. But I digress. It's a stupid cartoon. But that was the fear that Teela had. Teela's biggest fear was being special, and eventually Scareglow, through a really good fight sequence where, he makes himself look like Adam, or look like He-Man, draws that out of her. And I know it was supposed to be such an emotional thing of the hero falling and struggling and then overcoming it. But when I stepped back and I really thought about it, as I'm probably putting too much thought into this Masters of the Universe, I came to the conclusion, okay, her biggest fear was that she's too awesome. And then at the end, she figures she gets past that by saying, okay, I can be too awesome. That's fine. And that's where we go from this. The fucking just performative worship that these writers are doing of Teela is just staggering. And it's part of the problem with the show. The show would almost be good if, right now, if in that climactic battle of the first episode, if they had gotten rid of Teela and He-Man, we would have a really good show going forward. It would actually be a pretty darn good show. But you can't get around it, and plus they wanted to make Teela He-Man. I still say, a lot of people are saying that Ardra is going to become He-Man, and I stick by my theory that Teela is going to become He-Man, Ardra is going to become Man-at-Arms, Adam's going to become King, taking his place in the royal lineage or whatever you want. But yeah, like I said, this is almost a good show. This is the turning point where I came around. They had kind of a character development of Evelyn, and you kind of see her in a different light, and it's very interesting to see. And it's almost a good show. It wants to be a good show, but too much of just the bland 2021 type of writing, this modern age, this day of writing, is getting in the way. This could have been a really good show. It's not horrible. It's not, it's not a crash and burn. It's not what people expected. That's the problem. It's not what people wanted. It's not what people expected. Now, there's one thing. It's not a problem if you're not giving them what they expect, but you have to not lie to them, as I'm getting back to a point I've made before. The lies. That's part of the problem that Kevin Smith came along. We trusted him at the beginning of this. We thought this was a good idea, but then the rumors started coming out, and then the lies started coming out of him. So, subverting our expectations is, I know that's like such a toxic term nowadays, and it shouldn't be, but subverting the expectations, you can do that, but you can't lie. That's the problem that we sort of have with this Master of the Universe. But anyway, that's all I got for this one. I'm going to go watch the last one. I'm going to get this done. But I got some comic reviews coming. Mirka Andolfo just released Sweet Paprika. I'm going to do a review of that. But I can't show a whole lot of it because there's boobs in it. Lots of boobs. And that's a good thing. But anyway, thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. You guys go have a good day. Bye.